All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 minutes with me on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. We are brought to you by the Brewerton Diner. Make sure if you're in and around Central New York, you get to the Brewerton Diner. I would suggest the Brewerton Benedict. You can get that for like a late morning breakfast or a brunch type of a thing. You can even eat it for lunch. It's served on the Texas toast with the bacon gravy slather all over the place, 2 over easy eggs, and you can add the ham for that Benedict feel. If it's lunch, Reuben, Philly steak, Brewerton burger, specialty items, you name it. They're open late Friday nights for haddock as well, and the Fish Friday with mac and cheese. Get to the Brewerton Diner. Gift cards always available. You can get them on Grubhub, and you can dine in or take out yourself. It's just a terrific place to go eat. Breakfast, lunch, and of course Friday night dinner only for the Fish Friday. We're also supported by Lakeshore Yacht and Country Club and our friends at Main Street Host. So Manny Machado, let's spend the next 8 or so minutes talking about this. Manny Machado gets signed by the San Diego Padres. It was a record-setting deal, the largest contract in American pro sports history. Now remember, Giancarlo Stanton had signed that deal for $325, but it was the extension from another contract. This is solely a free agent contract, biggest one ever, $300 million over 10 years. Here are my takeaways of this deal. Number one, I think this is fantastic for San Diego. I think this is great for mid-market teams, mid to low-market teams, you know, to finally, for their fan bases now, to put the heat on the owners to go sign mega players. Now, Manny Machado for 10 years might not work for a lot of other franchises because of how the payroll is set up or who they committed to previously. Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton, for example, and some other, Dodgers and everybody, Cubs and everybody. But the reality is the Padres don't have a splash player like this. They don't have a face of the franchise. Before they signed Machado, Will Myers is probably the face of the franchise. Now, they might have a couple guys coming up through the minor leagues who we're going to talk about in about 5 to 10 years who are one of those guys. But until Tatis is ready, until Mejia is ready, Manny Machado just getting signed is instantly the face of the franchise. He's instantly a bobblehead giveaway. Jersey sales go out through the roof. Season ticket sales. I mean, I would love to be, selling tickets today for the San Diego Padres with the season ticket hike, and I can't wait to see what those numbers look like. But to me, the fan bases now of the Royals, of the Pirates, of the Diamondbacks, of all these teams that try, we're rebuilding or we're going to do this or we're going to do that. That may be the case. And I'm not saying that every team has to go out and try to look to spend $300 million the way San Diego did. But at least improve your team. At least go out and spend a little bit of money somewhere, somehow, as long as you do it intelligently. Now, I don't want to hear any more crying from any mid to low market team, okay? Because I hear it all the time from people, because I'm a Yankee fan, that the Yankees have ruined baseball and that they've done this and that and the other thing. And, their payroll's been ridiculous and they get every free agent. First of all, they haven't gone out and signed a mega free agent in a very long time. They traded for Giancarlo Stanton, which I thought was a terrible move. The worst contract on their roster right now is Jacoby Ellsbury, no question. But think about these superstar players. They didn't sign Machado. They're not going to sign Bryce Harper. They didn't get caught up in the swirl of Albert Pujols a few years ago. They didn't get caught up and give Patrick Corbin a 6-year. I'm not saying he's a star, but that's another point where a guy got really, really paid in this free agent market. The Yankees didn't go out and sign him. So they haven't gone out and gotten the upper echelon superstar type player when available. And at the trade market, they've just put Band-Aids on the roster. They went out and got Jay Happ. They went out and got a bunch of other mid to low level players. They didn't go out and try to get Manny Machado at the trade deadline and bump Miguel Andujar because they lost patience with him. So, I think people also need to realize is how can the Padres sign Manny Machado? Well, guess what? Not only is part of it TV money out that way and in some of the revenue stream that the Padres are making, it's because of the Yankees. It's because of the Red Sox. It's because of the Dodgers. It's because of the Cubs. These teams that spend that much money, they go over the luxury tax threshold. That money goes into a bowl and it's mixed in, and all the teams get a piece of the pie. Okay, so while baseball doesn't have a salary cap like the NFL, whatever. I mean, everybody wants to bitch and moan, and baseball gets a bad rap about contracts. In my opinion, baseball has more parity than the NFL. The NFL sends just about every same team to the playoffs every single year. If Baltimore's down one year, they're back the next. If Pittsburgh's down one year, they're back the next. The Colts were down for a year or two. Now they're back with a new head coach and Andrew Luck. They made the playoffs this year. And oh, by the way, in the last 18 years, the New England Patriots have been in the Super Bowl half the time. That is not parity, okay? Baseball has had parity. They've had a different World Series winner every year since 2000. The last team to repeat, 2000 Yankees. So big money teams have actually helped these low to mid-market teams spend. Remember Jose Bautista with Toronto not too long ago. Joe Mauer signed with the Minnesota Twins. You look at Andrew McCutchen with the Pirates for a while when he got that big deal. So, you know what? Cry me a river. These mid to low market teams, you can go out and spend the money. The owners have the money. It's just a matter of actually doing it. Another takeaway is I think this is good for the New York Yankees to not spend $300 million in over 10 years. What the Yankees are doing here is they're committing to the core of Andujar and, of course, Gleyber Torres, and they're hoping for Greg Bird, Gary Sanchez, and it's all centered around the big man in the right field area with the Judge's Chambers and Aaron Judge. I think this right here, this signing, him being Manny Machado, not going to the New York Yankees, one of the big reasons, if not the biggest, is that the Yankees are going to end up having to pay Aaron Judge real soon. They're going to have to pay Gary Sanchez real soon. Who knows if they're going to just avoid arbitration altogether and just maybe give them right now maybe a 5, 7, 8-year deal to keep them in pinstripes. So that is another takeaway. Another takeaway for me is, as a Yankee fan, see you later, Manny Machado. He kills the New York Yankees, and now the Yankees don't have to face him 19 times a year. So that's music to my ears as well. And another takeaway, of course, is the free agent market now with Bryce Harper. How will this impact Bryce Harper? I think Bryce Harper gets at least $300 million if Manny Machado got that money. And my final takeaway from this signing of Manny Machado to the San Diego Padres is this. Remember when months ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we've been anticipating this free agent class forever, led by Machado and Harper. And remember the talk of 350, 400, 4.25, 450, 500 million if somebody gave them 10 to 12 years? Well, we didn't get to that point, and yet people are still going, oh, baseball and the contracts, and oh my gosh. And while I realize they're a little out of control and they shouldn't be guaranteed, Machado actually got far less than what the entire baseball world thought, right? The baseball world thought it was going to be like 3.25, 350 for Machado and 350 to 400 or more for Bryce Harper. Machado comes well under that at 300. I still think Bryce Harper gets about 3.25. We'll see where he goes, though. He may try to go back to the Washington Nationals and take that original deal, which is going to be equal to what Machado got. Now, remember, Machado, 8 years and $250 million he was offered by the Chicago White Sox. It's more money per year guaranteed, but the back end, 9 and 10, being a free agent, trying to get another deal at around, 34, 35, he'd probably get a couple years, but he'd get about maybe 10, 12 a year. As it is right now, he's going to get 30 each of those years in 9 and 10. So really good move for the Padres, really good move for low to mid-market baseball teams. Terrific move for the Yankees, staying away from them, and you don't have to see them in the division anymore. It's a great bump for the National League West, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Manny Machado can do in San Diego. The one negative, of course, and I'll wrap on this in terms of Machado going to San Diego, he's going to a pitcher's park. Now, granted, this guy's a really, really good player. His overall numbers, 175 homers, 282 batting average. He's knocked in over 500 ribbies. His OPS is around 822. I don't know about generational player, like we've thrown that around a lot the last several months. But he's been a repeated all-star, and he's one of the top 5 players, maybe 6 players in the game when healthy, and he's been super durable for the most part since that knee injury going back to 2014. Well, guess what? Manny Machado now, the biggest challenge for him, going from Hitter's Park in Camden Yards and then L.A. to a fairly decent hitting park to a pitcher's park in San Diego. Mike Lindsley with you. We're brought to you by the Allen Angus Pub. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.